Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum girls. Farzana Hassan here. First we'll start with our questions about the poem Ducks, which was finished in previous lectures. Now we have to talk about its important questions, and they are the critical appreciation, introduction of the poet Tawfiq Rafat, synonyms of all the difficult words, how do the ducks enjoy themselves on the coast of Pakistan, why do they come to Pakistan, what sort of treatment they get here, and some 2-3 more questions are here which I'll send you on our WhatsApp group. Please do find answers to them and prepare your critical appreciation in such a way that they can be easily done out of this appreciation. And now our next poem, that is Across the Indus. This is written by Shahid Hussain, and again he is a Pakistani poet, and he talks about the significance of river Indus. He also talks about the contrast between appearance and reality. I'll read the lines for you and then explain. Across the Indus, how beautiful it seems, that crowded, festering, insistent city, dirt, barren heat, the cruel drone of flies, the sores paraded into indifferent eyes, the ruined houses leaning to each other, disgorging naked, unappealing children, playing their games in self-created filth. If we look at the lines very carefully, we find that the first line, how beautiful it seems, is in present tense, and the rest of the lines are in past tense. Actually, when the poem starts, the poet is standing across the Indus, right? And he looks at the city and he finds that the city looks so beautiful from this end of the river. And then he recalls its vision which he caught while standing at the close quarter, while standing very close to the city, across the river, and that's why those lines are given in past tense. So he says that the other view he got for the same city was quite unhealthy, it was quite corrupting, it was unpleasant. The city looked heavily populated. Then the unhealthy environment was there, and it had such a heavy impression on the senses of human being that even if he wants to avoid it, he doesn't want to look on to this side of the city, but it insists itself on our sight, and we cannot avoid it. What he found in the city while standing at a close quarter was only dirt. The streets were barren because heat was there. It's the time when it's perhaps the intensive heat and really hot summer, so the heat was there, and only the flies were moving about in the streets with their continuous low humming sound, which again is something really unpleasant for the ears of human beings. So these are the wounds of a place which is stricken by poverty, and these are the wounds of humanity. Sores are actually the painful wounds. These are the wounds of humanity which every human being, he wants to stand indifferent to them because he doesn't want to see ugliness in life. So he doesn't want to look at them, but he cannot avoid it. While standing close to some reality, we cannot avoid it. We have to face it. So this is an impression that hangs heavy on his senses, but he cannot avoid. And that's why the poet also couldn't avoid. And while standing there close to the city, he had to watch it all. And then he tells us about the children belonging to the same streets and the same poor houses. These houses vomit out, disgorge, they vomit out children whose parents have gone to earn their living, and they are perhaps alone in their houses, so they are unguarded. So they come out of their houses, and the houses which are so close to each other, they are small houses, so they are connected to each other, lying very close to each other, and these kids who normally look innocent and beautiful, they don't look beautiful because of the poverty they are living in, because of being unneat, because of being naked. They don't have even proper clothes on them, and then they play there in the self-created filth. The streets are already dirty, they are filthy, there is garbage over there, and then they also add to the garbage of the street, like they eat things and throw their peels over there, and even they use the streets for their toilets as well. So they play in that dirt, they play in that in those streets which are filled with garbage. So this is the kind of impression that is caught by the poet while he is close to the city. And rising, waiting, casting its heavy mantle, the suffocating, obliterating dust, swirling forever in the noisy lace. So there is a wind which is heavy with the dust, and this dust is all the time moving along with the wind in the streets of the city, and gives a heavy dressing to the heavy and ugly dressing to this city, and it suffocates. We don't find the poet doesn't find it light to breathe in here, and it gives a vague impression of everything. Because everything looks vague under the layer of this dust. So this kind of impression and this kind of ugliness is found by the poet in the noisy streets of the city. But I have crossed the river, placing the deep and easy flow of green between that life and this. Clear and toy-like in the distance, quite pure and captivating, lies the city. Gracefully the houses jostle each other to the river's bank. Now the poet has crossed the river, right, and here he stands and he utters the first line of the poems, that was, how beautiful it seems. And then he recalled all that ugly ugly picture of the city which he caught while standing close to it. Now he is away, he has crossed the river, so the green waterbed of the river has come between this life and that life, between reality and between the appearance. And now it is looking as beautiful, the same city which was so ugly, which had such a heavy impression on the senses of the poet. It looks beautiful, just like a toy from the distance. It looks peaceful, it looks pure, it appeals to his eyes. And those poor houses, they seem to be pushing each other to the bank of the river. They give a very beautiful impression of the same city. So the Indus mirrors those dirty shadows like a dream in crystal, and the ugliness I saw and came away from, along the placid water flows away. So this is the power of river Indus. It's now we find totally another impression of the same ugly city reflected in the waters of Indus. It is mirrored in the river Indus. Its pure water actually wipes away the dirt of the city and makes it crystal clear. The ugliness is gone away with the waves, and now what we find is the peaceful, calm impression of the city. It looks so beautiful from the distance. So this was the poem, and when we look at the themes of the poem Across the Indus, we find that it is the difference between appearance and reality. All that glitters is not gold. Significance of the river Indus is found here. It's the power of the waters of river Indus. And then poverty is an evil. it is such an evil that the childhood, which is always identified with innocence, with beauty, it even makes that impression evil and ugly, and we don't find the children attractive, appealing. The innocence is not there. Poverty makes them dirty. Poverty makes them ugly. So this is the evil of poverty, that it even it dominates the beauty and makes everything evil. So the themes are done. Now again we'll look at the important questions of Across the Indus. So critical appraisal again, synonyms again, information about the poet again. We have to talk about the significance of River Indus and the children, how they appear in the streets, what's the real picture and what is the picture from the distance, and then the themes of the poem. These are all the questions which we have to do. I'll again send some important notes on your WhatsApp group, which will help you in the preparation of this poem. Please take care of them properly and try to solve them on daily basis. These two poems are again very important because they give you an insight into the certain realities of life. Though my teacher, Ma'am Ghazala Khalid, didn't like them, she said that these two poems are selected here, but they give us only an unkind view of Pakistani society and Pakistan. But however, we have to look into the realities, because these intellectuals, these poets, philosophers and writers help us to look into the realities of life, to make life better. So we must look towards the betterment of life, and that we can do only if we will look into the reality and we will try to correct the reality. So with this, these two poems are done, and inshallah in the next week I'll be taking up the next poem, that is the Express. So please do read the Express and the next poem, An Old Woman to the Roads, for the next lectures. So you should be ready for the next two poems. Then it will be easy for you to have an understanding of whatever the poets want to convey to us. Thank you so much. Meet you inshallah next week. Allah Hafiz.